Hey everybody, how are you? Good to see you. Glad you're here with us on Crafters TV. My name is Ben Moseby. Nice to see you. Yes. Glad to have you back. We've just had a nice hour off. We've been sat in the sunshine. You know that thing that we hadn't seen for ages? It's finally made an appearance here in the northeast. And producer Nicola and I were sat outside on the bench just around the corner, getting some of the old vitamin D, chewing the cud as you do. So it was very nice indeed. Bit of lunch in the sunshine. And we are back for a 2-hour extravaganza, darling, of Colour Me Happy. A show which perhaps we don't do as often as we used to, but certainly when we bring you this show, we've got a lot of people saying, we love the show, we want to ask the questions, we want to see those demos, and that's what this show is all about. We've got loads of goodies lined up for you. However, we want to make it as interactive as possible because lovely Leanne is here, and I think when we've got Leanne here, especially on a Colour Me Happy show, we need to use her and all of her talents. So let me put it out there at the start of the show. Anything you want to ask, colouring related, please ask it. Anything that you particularly want to see, please put in a request in the comments, and if we can physically do it for you, time-wise and sort of kit-wise, we will, all right? It may well be that you ask something and we don't have the correct kit here to be able to do it, but ask, and if we can deliver, we will deliver. We already have a few requests which we're going to tackle first up in this show from Wake Up Call this morning, but make it interactive. This is your opportunity. If you are thinking about purchasing anything from this show, but you've got a question about it before you buy it, ask the question. If you already have items on this show in your crafty stash and they're sat there unopened, as we talked about earlier on, and you're thinking, oh, I'm too scared to open the box, I'm too scared to open everything up because I don't know how to use it, please ask, because that's what we're here for. If you've bought stuff, we want you to use it. So that's what this show is going to be all about. Just to mention as well, if you are shopping again on the website today, our summer sale continues and the outlet clearance continues as well. There are more deals that have been added to that today, with up to, certainly from the deals that we looked at earlier on, 83% off before your Club Inspired discount. So do check that out. If you've only got a few bucks to spend today, there are deals to be had. I'll say a few hellos to all of you in just a few moments' time, but let's say the most important hello to a lady who is furiously getting ready over the other side of the studio. It is the lovely Leanne. And Leanne, pretty much what I've just said, right? We're happy to take requests. We want your questions. We want people to ask, and we shall deliver, right?
Absolutely, Ben. Whatever it is, whatever is your little stumbling block, whatever is your conundrum, whatever eludes you, just whatever you want to know, let us know, and we'll do our very best to answer those questions and to show you some problem solving and some techniques today. I absolutely love it when I get a Colour Me Happy show and I get the ability to give you what you want and help you with anything that might be causing you frustration. And if we can remove that frustration, then we've done a good job today.
We certainly have. And as I said earlier on, chances are if you've got a question or if you want to ask Leanne to demonstrate something, if you're thinking it, then chances are there's lots of other people out there thinking exactly the same thing. We've got Superstar Susie on the socials as well, so she'll be keeping us right, sending all those comments and requests through. Already in is Felicia Neal, who says hello from Toledo, Ohio. Hello. Jamie Ennis, I knew you would be in, Jamie, because every time we bring a Colour Me Happy, you pop up and say that it's your favourite show ever. So that's lovely that you're back with us again. You checked the schedule, didn't you? Yes, very clever. Laurie Barnett says, good morning from Gilbert, Arizona. Hi to Pat in New Jersey. And Jeffrey Langley, who says, happy hump day, Ben and Leanne, and the great and fabulous and fantastic crew. Alison Alcalay says, good morning. Crafty friends from a sunny and hot NYC. Melanie D joins us from Florida. Wendy Myers joins us from Colorado. Evangeline says, hi everyone from Guam. Hello. Hello also to Kendall, who says, hi from Minnesota. I'm so happy for the Colour Me Happy that they are doing, where we learn about colouring, and especially that it's with Leanne. Lois joins us from Ohio. Teresa Campbell and Mary Beth Doyle join us as well. Christine Mahoney says, I can't stay long, but you're in. That's the main thing. Ruth joins us. I know, Ruth, we're going to be demonstrating something that you asked in just a little while. And Wendy Graham says, hi, Leanne, Ben, Susie, and team, and all the crafters. I love me a Colour Me Happy show. And Cindy Condy says, so excited for this show. Always eager to learn more with Leanne. Leanne's currently spraying over there. I thought initially she was going, as if I'd missed something, but no, she's just prepping, getting ready for the demos we're going to show you. Also, just to mention as well, before we dive into this show, please can I have your company back here live at 5, midday Eastern, because we have a 60-minute deal show, and it will be just that. If you can tune in and join us, we have deals just for that show, right? They'll be live during the hour, and then once we've finished, they'll be gone. So you need to be in. Craig has come in especially to host that show with me, so you know that must mean big deals. He is swatting Leanne out of the way ready for that show, so do make sure you come back for it. Julie Thomas says hello from Warwickshire here in the UK. Right, we're ready and raring to go. We'll get some details up for you, but I think we are starting off with ink pads. Hello, Ultia, by the way, you've just joined us from the Netherlands. Hello. So ink pads we're going to start with. We've got a selection of ink pads available for you on the show. We're going to get the details up for the Gold Shimmer ink pad. These are all Leanne's picks as well, by the way, so you can thank her for the price that you're seeing on screen here with the Gold Shimmer ink pads. A better than half price deal. Just to also mention on the show, we've got quick dry ink pads. We've got the return of the metallic ink pads as well, which Leanne will be using. But we had a general sort of question in the earlier show, and it came from Lynn Morton, who is watching. And let me try and, I'm going to find it because I don't want to kind of make up words. But Lynn said, she said, challenge Chivers for Colour Me Happy. I've got a few ink pads and I struggle with every one of them. She says she lays it down too thick. She says it's too streaky. She gets circles. And in her words, she says, it's just a damn disgrace. Please help, says Lynn Morton. Leanne, can you help?
I will do my very best, Lynn. My first question to you, Lynn, if you feel able to answer, is what kind of card are you blending ink onto? Because I would dare bet, and tell me if I'm wrong, it might be a random piece of card from your stash, it might be a bit of multi-purpose, could be a bit of Nina. They're all meant for very different things. If you're struggling with your blending, watercolour card every single time.
Right.
Because watercolour card is meant for the movement of colour because of the watercolour technique. And that means when you're using your ink pads on the watercolour card, you will get movement and you will get much better blended results. It is the one card I use with all of our ink pads for all of my blending. When I want to do any kind of background where I don't want it to grab and get circles, it's the only thing I will use, and it's the only thing I recommend to you. Let me show you what I mean by that. So you're using watercolour card, but then it might be a little bit of technique, Lynn. So let's start with our duet ink pads. I've got 3 here, and I'm going to do it with 2 different blending tools so you can see what I'm doing that might be different to what you're doing. So these are our duet. Now, my ink blending tool of choice is always our brand new brushes.
Yeah.
Have you got those, Lynn? They're not in stock at the minute, so I will come back to that, but if you've already got them, I can show you. One of the most universally available blending tools are these rectangular applicators that we've got. So let's start with those. Now, start on a glass mat or a Teflon mat, Lynn, and also don't start with a piece of card that's too big because you can set yourself up for failure. So if you're going to trim it down to a smaller piece, just start with a small piece and then you give yourself more options. A bigger piece can take more ink, more effort and leave more room for error. So I've got a small piece here for a small project, and then what you would do is start off your card. And notice how I've got my tool angled here. So you might need to see it from that direction. It's kind of at a right angle, there we go, a 45-degree angle to the card. So what I'm not doing is starting by plunging down.
No.
So I'm starting with a little angle, and then I just start to blend the ink on there and build up the colour. And you're moving quickly, which means that the colour starts to blend on there smoothly, and you don't get that harsh line that you're referring to.
And does it not matter whether we use circle or the rectangle?
No, both work in exactly the same way.
Right.
Whichever you prefer. If you're doing a small area for detail, the circle. If you're doing a background effect, the rectangle. But you can...
She uses the round CC blending tool and the daubers.
Daubers, no. You need a rectangle tool. And a small circular blending tool, Lynn, too small for a background, which is why you're getting circles. It's picking up the outline of the circle blender. So I would suggest you get yourself some brushes or the rectangular tool for background effects, I would never use the small circular tool. That is more for colouring an object or an embellishment, rather than doing a background technique.
Okay.
So for a background technique, you need a wider space to be able to get your ink and colour down. And then I've got one per colour here.
Oh, yeah.
I always keep my sponges relevant to the colour. One of our other guests have got some blue. I might get a bit of contamination in here.
Pet hate.
No, pet hate.
If you do want the blending brush, whether it's rectangle or circle with the 10 replacement heads, that is a deal that is on the website. I think it was on yesterday, so you should be able to find that. Worth going for, because it is nice to have those different, having a different colour head for each of the colours you've got, isn't it?
Yeah, really important. And you can just have one handle. You just need, these just come off on Velcro. You can just change the sponges.
Yeah.
Right, so you see where I've overlapped with the pink, I've got a lovely peach. I'm getting a nice smooth blend. My final colour here is this lovely blue. And that's just going to come in there. Now, did you see how I popped that down there and I've got that rectangle? I think that's what's happening, Lynn. You're doing that with your circle. You're putting it down rather than bringing it on at an angle. So if you do get something like that, you can just put more ink on.
Yeah.
And if you work quickly on the watercolour card, you can blend it out.
Okay.
So circular motions and a little bit of pressure blends that out. So if you get that, that's what you would want to do. So if you do that, and you make a line, more ink, circular motions, a little bit of pressure, and you'll be able to blend that out and get a lovely blended background. Okay, so that's with your rectangular tool. It's more or less the same with the brushes.
Okay.
If you at home and you're like, but I've only got the brushes, Leanne, well, this is for you. So the brushes, in the similar way, pick up the ink and blend that in for you. Now, I'm just going to show you the difference here. So you don't have to go on an angle. But what I want to show you is the difference in how the colours look.
Yeah.
So that's because the sponge absorbs some of what the specialness in the Duet ink pad, the brush does not. So for Duet ink pads, I always find that using the brush applicator will give you more of what the Duet ink pad gives you, which is that chalky, lovely finish. It's not to say you can't use them with a sponge. Yeah. It's just you'll get a different effect.
Are you loading more ink onto the brushes as opposed to the pads? Or is it the same sort of amount of...
I think you need less ink with a brush.
Right, okay.
But it's a similar technique. You see, I can just go straight in. And to Jamie's point, no, I'm not angling the brush. The brush is flat. The bristles do the kind of angling the blend for you. Yeah. There we go. So I'll leave it at that, and you can see how those colours are all blending into each other and morphing into the new colours. So that, I think, Lynn, is possibly what's happening. You're using a tool that's too small and not meant for the job of blending a background. The small ones, if I just grab one actually and show you quickly. Okay. Why not? That's what we're here for, isn't it?
Exactly right.
Just grab this blue one.
Yeah.
And try and do a bit of blue blending on here. I think what's happening, Lynn, is this.
Yeah.
And then when you try and blend that out, it just accentuates the circle.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's because this type of tool is really meant for small area fill. But you see, to get rid of that, what I'm doing is just going round and round and round and round and round on it again. Yeah. While it's wet. And that will eventually blend that out. Okay. But you see here where I caught it, look, I've got a little crescent there. And that would be more difficult to blend out. So I think a tool that's possibly too little for the job. Okay, too little. So the rectangle or the square, they're actually called square, aren't they? They're called square, but they are a rectangle. Yes, so just that to keep you on your toes. Yeah, exactly right. And the best deal you can get currently is the one where you get the 10 replacement heads to go with it. So then you've got potentially, ones for all the different colours that you've got. And I don't know if everybody does it, but I know certainly Craig does, is you can get the little Velcro dots and stick the pads for each of your ink pads underneath your ink pads in the little recessed bit, so you can store them and you've got them there. If Lynn wants to, you can get it on the website. Is that the tool with the replacement heads? £5.50 before your discount. So absolutely have a look at that and get it into your basket. There's loads of questions coming through.
and requests as well. So I tell you what, we'll have a look at gold shimmer ink pads. The brushes, Cindy, are brilliant. They aren't back in stock yet. All you can do is wait, and believe you me, when we find out those are back in stock, you'll be the very first to know here, because I know there's lots of people that are waiting on them. Hi, Stephanie's joined us. Dawn LaValle's joined us. Hi also to Trish, who says, watercolour for blending. Thank you, Leanne. And thank you, Lynn, for asking, because I also struggle with the same issues. There you go. And Lynn Morton says, Leanne, thank you so much. You are a diamond. And that's exactly what was happening, she says.
Oh, brilliant, Lynn. Well, look, Lynn, I'm so happy I was able to resolve that for you. You're going to have so much more fun with your ink pads now. I'm going to hope to be seeing lots of lovely blended backgrounds. Just before you go anywhere, Lynn, I've got a dauber.
Oh, yeah?
Because the...
Hey.
I've got a little dauber.
Hey.
Little dauber coming at you, Lynn. And that, look, if I just show you in the corner here, when you pick it up, you're going to get those little circles again where you've got your dauber. And it's just too small of a space to do any kind of effective blending, and then when it's grabbed, no amount of polishing is going to get that to come out. So daubers and circular blending tools are for small detail embellishment only, large areas, brushes and rectangles.
Okay, I'm going to try and do my very best here to answer all of the questions, or get Leanne to answer all the questions, but there's so many questions and comments coming through, which is brilliant, which is what we wanted. So just to talk, because we've talked about ink pads and brushes, Robbie's just asking, with those brushes, can you use a brush for each colour, or do you need a brush for each type of ink pad?
Right, no, you clean them in between. And you know when the show started and Ben was like, she's furiously getting ready over there?
Yeah.
That's because I was cleaning the brushes, because my dirty colleagues haven't after the view.
Dirty colleagues.
Dirty colleagues. So to clean your brushes,
yes,
colleagues, if you're watching.
Come on, colleagues.
This is what you need to do for the next colleague that's coming on air.
Yes.
You need some kitchen towel and a little spritzer, a very light perfume mist. It's not saturated.
Right.
And then you just run the brush through that moisture, and it'll take any of the residual ink off. Let me get another colour for you. There, can you see that's changing colour to yellow now?
Yeah.
So it's not wet, but what it does is take the ink off the surface of the brush, which means you can go between colours. There's the blue one that I did. There you go.
Right.
It means you can go between colours and clean it. And this is hardly wet to the touch. Does not need to be saturated. You can dab it into a baby wipe. There's a baby wipe. You can dab the brush and then take the colour off if you'd like to. And that will just give them all a clean and allow you to then move between different colours and different types of ink pad.
Excellent stuff. I still can't believe the discount on the ink pads, says Melanie D. These are my favourite ink pads ever, and I think you're obviously talking about the gold shimmer ink pads. We're going to have a look at these. Requests for Leanne to do techniques and demos, we will kind of feed as we go through. There's some generic questions coming through as well. So what I'll do is I'll wait till I've got about 3, 4 or 5 of those, and then we will ask Leanne the sort of generic questions so that we're not sort of interrupting demos, but we will do as much as we can over the course of the show. But thank you for these questions. That's what this show is all about. Gold shimmer ink pads. First of all, Leanne, thank you, as Melanie D says, because you've supplied these deals on this show. Best ever deal we've done on the gold shimmer ink pads, and we're going to have a look at these with you now.
Yes, so Shimmer are a fantastic ink pad which are absolutely infused with beautiful colour. I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock. I know I'm reaching over myself. Oh, there we go. There we go. Before I get my stencils out and show you how to use the daubers, because daubers, perfect for gold shimmer ink pads. But I just want to show you how intense the shimmer is. So these are a pigment ink pad infused with very fine gold iridescent shimmering mica to give you that beautiful iridescence and pearlescence. So you can apply these directly from the ink pad, and then once it's dry, remember it's the same with sparkle. Wet ink interferes with the light, and you don't get as much shimmer as from a dry ink. So it's not essential, but it's best to dry it. And then when you dry it, what you get is the most beautiful, intense gold shimmer and shine. Look how fabulous that is. So it's absolutely incredible. And you'll get that faux pearlescent card, faux pearlescent look with whatever you want, with all of the colours, however you decide to use them. So I've got a couple of different stencils here. This is my favourite way to use them. However, I'm going to show you some samples. You can use these in many different ways.
These stencils, yes, and Nicola's just reminding me, if you want to get these outlet clearance page, they're 50p before your discount, and there's 6 of them, I think, in that set.
Okay, I mean, that's ridiculous.
It is. I mean, it's more than ridiculous.
That's bonkers, in the words of Dizzy Rascal.
Bonkers.
Okay, so now we're going to start and just apply some colour. So I'm going to pick my daubers out, and then this is the best way to apply shimmer through a stencil, and this is where you get really beautiful results. So daubers going into the Shimmer Ink pad, and then it just goes through the stencil. And look, I'm using, can you see I'm using a patting and dabbing motion.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do the whole stencil, we'll be here all day, but it'll give you an idea of how you get the beautiful shimmery blended results through a stencil.
Whilst you're patting and dabbing, I can answer this, ask this question rather, because it's to do with what you're doing. Trish says, I know you can use opaque ink pads for embossing, but can you use these ink pads for embossing?
These gold shimmer ones?
Yeah.
Yes, because they're pigment.
Yes.
100%. And it'll be beautiful.
Great question, Trish.
So now I'm changing colour. So I'm going to the blue with the gold shimmer, and then I'm just going to go up to and over the purple that I've just put down a little bit to just blend that through, and then I'm just dabbing through the stencil again. So daubers dab.
Yeah.
You don't do this with a dauber.
No, no.
Because you just spread, and also you dissipate the beautiful gold shimmer too much. So you're pushing this ink through the stencil onto your cardstock below. And I'm not going to do the whole, I say I'm not going to do the whole thing, and then invariably I don't stop and I do the whole thing. I'm really not going to do the whole thing. So that's blue. And then I'm going to do the green now. And so you notice I'm moving through 3 very distinct and different colours, because I want to show you that you can get a beautiful blend and transition with these, and all of them have got that beautiful, beautiful gold shimmer in them. Now, you can stamp with these, you can do watercolour techniques with these, you can paint with these, use them with a paintbrush and water and paint your images.
Yeah.
You can spritz them when they're wet and get movement with these like you do with a regular ink pad.
Okay.
The joy of these particular Shimmer Ink pads is you can do all of the techniques you see us do all of the time, just everything has that beautiful, beautiful gold iridescence infused all the way through it.
Jane is wondering if these show up on black card.
They will show, but not the full colour. I'll get a bit of black card and I'll show you.
Okay.
The black interferes with the colour a little bit, although you can see the shine.
Right.
Bear with, and I'll get a piece of black card and we'll show you.
But your best friend is your light cardstock,
yes.
white cardstock. And
I
yes,
know,
if anyone's noticed, Leanne said she wasn't going to do the full stencil.
I know, and here I am.
You may as well finish it. Don't leave it now.
It's yes. No, it's fine. 3/4 of a stencil.
Okay.
Okay, so now if I remove the stencil.
Nice.
Bear with. I'd put some stick and spray on there, so that's there. And then if I heat this, and I haven't finished all of the areas. This is just drying so you can get the lovely shimmer through. You'll do a much better job. This is giving you the technique and the idea on speed. And then if I wiggle this at you,
there's the shimmer.
There's the shimmer all the way through, which you can see. It's really beautiful. So you're going to push that through the stencils to get the shimmer. If I just show you some of these other examples that I've got of things that you can do with the shimmer, you'll see here that where we've done letterpress technique with an embossing folder, and you've got the shimmer in the background there. You can see that there.
Beautiful.
Then we've done through the stencil, as you've just seen, and watercoloured this image with a paintbrush. So you've got all that beautiful shimmer there. Here's a background wash technique with the gold shimmer, and then the images have been painted. Here's another letterpress technique. Here's stamping over embossing. This is a swink technique, which is swiping ink.
A swink?
Swiping ink.
I've never heard that before.
Where you just swipe from the pad, as I did at the beginning, where you just pull the pad across the paper and overlap them. Look at the gold in there.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah, look at it. It's incredible. So that's a swink technique. This is a watercolour technique where you can spritz and watercolour with it if you want to. Here's another stencil. Here's a one where it moves with water And you get that lovely
Wow.
shimmer all the way through there.
Yeah.
Here's another background, beautiful gold shimmer all the way through there. So many different ways you can use them across all of the techniques, and so easy to use. You'll just get beautiful, beautiful results every single time.
Couple of questions on those as well. I mean, there's loads of questions, my goodness me. So Lynn's saying, so do you heat after using shimmer every time I use them?
I heat when I'm using them in the studio because we don't have time to wait for it to dry naturally, because I've got so much to fit in. So it's not essential, but if you're impatient like me, you can.
Right. And also, wow, I am being kept on my toes here. I tell you what, there is another question. Aidan wants to know, so how do you emboss with those ink pads?
Okay, so all you would do is, let's get a stamp.
Boop, boop, boop. Is that the bold
Let's use this
butterflies?
And I'm just going to find some clear embossing powder. Bear with me one second.
Cindy's just saying, love learning these tricks that help us, makes it so happy when it works. So we're here for, I feel like 2 hours isn't going to be enough with the amount of comments coming through and questions. Julie Lowe says, the brushes are amazing. I have a bunch of them, but I find I just clean the same one between colours. And Susie's saying the Shimmer Ink Pads turns all your white cardstock into pearlescent card. The gold shimmer and the original silver shimmer do that too. Thank you to Pat, who says, great questions. This is a show I will be saving. And it's lovely as well. What was Lynn's comment and Lynn's request? So many of you now going, oh, I do that as well. And now I know the answer. Julie says, I'm going to have to try that. I get the circle marks when I'm almost done. And this is what it's about. This is what we're talking about. If you have a problem, and if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire Leann Chivers. No, well, if you have a problem, chances are someone else is having that same problem. So ask away, and we will do our very best. Maureen's joined us. Hello, Maureen. Hello also to Stephanie, who's joined us as well. I can see your questions, everyone. We're going to ask them as we go, but we're looking at, for Aidan now, embossing with these.
So I've got a massive butterfly, and I'm just using one of my gold shimmer ink pads here, and lots of light tapping to make sure the full image is covered. I can't quite see because of the studio light, so if I've missed a bit, forgive me, but you'll get the idea.
Yeah.
And then you just stamp as normal. Have your embossing powder ready to go.
Yes.
So you stamp as normal.
Yeah.
I've just missed a bit there, never mind.
That's all right.
And you've got the gold shimmer, and then you put your embossing powder on top.
Yeah.
Tip that off. I've got sticky on me, Matt. Look at that.
Hello.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Abort. Oh, you're good. You're
Finished, right. And then once that's on, heat it.
Yep. So essentially, exactly the same as what you would do with a pigment ink pad.
No difference.
No.
What you don't do is wiggle your heat gun. Heat gun stays still.
There's the magic.
And then you chase it.
So good. So good. And can we, with these as well, still achieve the sort of double emboss, triple emboss effect? Or yes, fine. Well, thank you, Nicola. That was I'm very pleased with that question. Yeah. Question for Ben, age 45. Look at this. Good to see, Aidan. Great question as well, because I know people, again, do get confused about what ink pads do what, and then when we get like the sort of specialist ones, like the Shimmer Ink pad, you might get a bit confused. But look, there you go. Boom.
So you've got that beautiful emboss with the shimmer underneath. So the shimmer, the gloss in the studio light is interfering with the shimmer, but in real life, you see the shimmer underneath the gloss. I think you can probably see that a little bit, the gold coming through.
Absolutely can.
Yeah. So that's what you do. Great for a sentiment. Easy to do.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Aidan, for that question. I tell you what, we've got, although Paul says, sometimes when I use the Shimmer inks, when dry, they come off the card on my hands. What's Paul potentially doing wrong there? Wrong type of card, potentially?
I think it might be the wrong type of card. If your card's got any kind of coating on it, that will happen because the shimmer will sit on the surface.
Right.
So just make sure that you have, you've got a like a watercolour card, essentially.
Okay. We are going to have a short break, and we'll reconvene. And there's a few questions here. Rose, I see your question. Gillian, I see your question. We've got Ruth's question from this morning as well, which we're going to look at that was about blending, wasn't it? I seem to remember. So that's coming up. But thank you, everybody. Hi, Christina Boda, who says, hello, Leanne and Ben from Florida. Hi also to Julie Lowe. Must say hello to, there's loads of names I haven't seen in ages coming up today. Hello to Carol Garwood Beard, who says that it's hello from a lovely day in South Dakota. Betsy Throop Black joins us as well. Jamie Ennis, I see your question. Let me compile all these, put these into a bit of a list, and when we come back, Ruth, we will look at blending for you, because I know that was your question, and the other questions which we've had. We've got questions about stamping and all sorts we will tackle. Leanne, you've got a question for yourself?
I have got a question now, just to get your attention. I've just got one more thing I want to show you with these gold shimmer ink pads before we rush away with them, because this might be the thing that makes you think, that's for me. And I really want to show you, because it is fabulous. So look, I'm decanting this gold shimmer ink onto my glass mat now, and I've got one of these masks which are also very reasonable on the show. I've got the feather. They're super reasonable. What you can do with the gold shimmer is, with your paintbrush, pick that up, and then splodge.
Okay.
So essentially watercolour techniques, but with a pigment ink pad with that gold shimmer through there, and just give it a, you know, you just need to be brave. Just pick up the ink. Don't worry about it being too perfect. Just get it all in there, so it looks really random.
Yeah. Splodge.
Splodge, and then a bit
pounce.
Bit more of that, and then finally this down here, and then all together. There we go. And then we're going to do a quick heat.
Need a heat gun as well, they're available on the website.
Now, what I would do at home is leave this to dry fully before I remove the mask.
Naturally.
So when I remove this mask, I'm going to have some of the colour blend into each other. You're not going to get the perfect silhouette that I would like, but I don't have time to let the thing dry fully. So you'll get the idea. But then when you remove your mask, that would be more precise when you let it dry fully. And then if I give this a quick dry, you'll see you get all of the beautiful watercolour effects, but with almost marbling of gold shimmer in the pools of water that you've created. So if I just do this as quick as I can, guys. I mean, essentially what I'm saying to you is get the gold ink pads in these masks. You just get them, because you're going to have the best time with so many different techniques. Now look.
I mean,
and you can see the little pools of the shimmer there at the top of the leaf. You can see the pools of it. And there's a huge patch down there. So let that mask dry itself before you remove it, so that the water doesn't run under the mask. But you'll get the idea anyway.
Christina says, this is a great show. I'm learning a lot from you. I have these, haven't used them yet, but I will. And Trish says, I would like to take a moment to appreciate Crafters Companion TV, the entire company, and the brilliant people who bring us this very interactive platform. We are so fortunate, and I am grateful. Thank you, Trish. That's very kind. And I do think we offer something which you don't get elsewhere, which is that interactivity, which we do each and every day. And I think we do very well. So yes, take advantage of that interactivity, take advantage of the fact that we're live, take advantage that we've got the very best in the business when it comes to our experts. Ask the questions, right? That's what we're here for. So we will come back with more of your requests and demos. We've got loads more questions as well. Any more, fire them in. Let's use the next hour and 20 minutes to the best of our abilities to get the most out of Leanne, and we'll meet you back here in about 4 or 5 minutes' time.
Comment, email, then this shows in the studio set pack. Then I would get new poles, pick shores, solve any problems that need solving. We deal with other teams where we receive marketing suites, we receive boards. We pick samples to send to Hobby Maker. We pick samples to send to QVC. We will take the previous shows out of the studios, set the new shows up. We do floor manage occasionally, not all the time, making sure that the craft expert presenters have everything at hand that they need. Anything that they haven't got during shows, we will run about and get the products for them. I think on a morning when it's really quiet, I can get more done when there's nobody else in the building. Night owl. Morning. Coffee on a morning, tea the rest of the day. Savoury. Normally lunchtime. Craft along. Mobile phone. Christina's chicken wrap. Barry White. You're my first, my last, my everything. Go home and make the tea.
Day to day looks like, on a normal day when I'm working from home, get up, breakfast, quick phone call with my daughter, and then I'm up in the craft room and I spend all my time in the craft room. If it's spending a day with the grandkids, that's it. That's my best part of the day, just spending time with family and those gorgeous little grandkids of mine. The best part of the day when I'm at work is when I go on air, because I absolutely love it. Both. I prefer a shower in the morning. I feel fresher. I feel that I can tackle my day. However, depending on how that day, I also would have a double shower, so I'd have one in the morning and one at night too. Absolutely, 100% coffee will always be. And flavoured coffee is my favourite at the moment. Dare I say, it's a full English breakfast, the full works, the beans, the tomatoes, the bacon, the sausage, and everything else that goes with a traditional English breakfast. Craft along. Every day of the week. I absolutely love going through the stages from the start of a project to the end of a project. So craft along is definitely my favourite choice. Can't leave without my lipstick. It's a given thing. I once didn't have a lipstick on me and else that day. Kick off the shoes, sit down for a couple of minutes, just gather my thoughts and then grab my tea.
Welcome back, chums. Hello, Hannah Gosling-Smith, who says, hi, Ben. Hi, Leanne. Hi, crafty friends. Hello. Hello, Dawn LaValle. Hello also to Kimberly Fisher, who says, love these gold shimmering pads, and I use them on many of my projects. Liz R joins us as well. Hi, Melanie D, Cindy Condy, Mary Shaw. Let's do the questions, and then we're going to come on to you, Ruth, who I misspoke. I know you want to see about shading and highlights, which is what we're going to do. Questions then, and me tablets being annoying. So questions are, first one from Jamie Ennis for Leanne. Basically, Jamie is using his stamping platform, and when Jamie stamps with the stamping platform, it gets a bit smudgy. Do you think you know what Jamie might be doing wrong?
I do. Let me grab a stamping platform. Oh, things are stacked beautifully over here. Feel an email coming on, Ben.
Oh, send it, send it.
Right. So, Jamie, when you're stamping with your stamping platform, if you're sitting down and you're stamping like this,
Yes.
you've got more pressure on one end than the other, and you're rocking your platform, which is why you get the smudge. So, if you can, get above your platform and spread your hands and go down one quick motion.
Right.
If you're doing this because you're sitting down, you're going to get a rock on that and get a smudge. So you need to be above it, one quick firm press, or one press and hold. Once it's down, you can move your hands around. I think what's happening is maybe you're doing this.
Right.
And then it's moving and you're getting a smudged outline. So if you need to move your hands around to get more pressure in certain areas, if it's a big stamp, one quick confident down, and then while it's still down with this hand, and then swap hands, keep it down,
Yeah.
you can move around. Don't
Okay.
up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Right. So, one quick press is sure to impress. And if you give it a nudge, it's bound to smudge. Just remember that. Thank you. I just came up with that, Nicola. Thank you. That's why I'm the hashtag presentation lead, yeah? Another quick question from Rose, who wants to know. She says, hi, Leanne and Ben. Hello, Rose Lippett. She says, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I've made an 8x8 card with several matte and layers using the multi-purpose glue, but it's left my card curved, Leanne. What's Rose doing wrong?
Right, too much glue.
Right.
Too much glue and possibly not storing it flat while it dries, because multi-purpose glue, all-purpose glue, collal, we use to shape items when we wanted to keep it set like concrete. So if you're doing a masquerade mask,
Yeah.
you would do several layers of that glue and you would curve it over a soda bottle, and it will keep that shape. So it's got to be less is more with that glue, and keep it flat until it's 100% dry.
Okay. Less is more if you don't want it curved like before. Next, Gillian says, I have... Will you come up with some rhymes, Jamie? Gillian says, Leanne, I have a white flower-forming foam. I have white flower-forming foam, but I found that the colour doesn't dry completely and sometimes leaches. What can I do to resolve this?
Alcohol markers.
Right. That's all she has to say about that. I was hoping there was going to be a longer explanation so I could think of a rhyme, but it wasn't long enough for me to... I'm not that good. And I think that could be all of the questions so far. Oh, Stephanie, and I think we might be able to look at this later on. She says that she used the Colour Bloom ink pads yesterday, spritzed the water, but she didn't get the colour change. What did she do wrong? Could that be, again, potentially the cardstock that Stephanie's using?
I can show you if you like.
Okay.
Okay, let's... I could
We're coming to you, Ruth, as well. Don't worry.
So, with your Colour Bloom, I've got one here, and I've got my... sorry, Nicola, were you going to say something to me? I'm to talk to the top here. Right. So, let me just put this in one corner here. So, here's the Colour Bloom. This is the corally orange that changes to pink. What you've got to do, once you've got that on there, and of course that isn't any kind of beautiful thing, dry it 100%.
Ah.
It has to be dry. The top colour has to be dry to release the hidden colour.
So it has to be dry for the second colour to come by.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly right. If you don't do that,
Yep.
then what happens is the two colours mix together and you get an approximation of the same colour as the top colour.
I see.
So this top colour must be dry for the hidden colour to reveal itself. If you're leaving it to dry itself, you need to leave it alone for a couple of hours. But
Right.
if you're using your heat gun, just until you think it's dry. But the drier it is, the better the result will be. And then if I spritz this now, there's the pink.
Here we go. Nice.
Okay? So it needs to be fully dry for the Colour Bloom to
Yeah.
release the hidden colour.
Gotcha.
And then the colour will bloom.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm loving the fact as well that we just had a message here from Carol saying, great tip on the platform. I never thought of that. Thank you. And Linda said, I was doing the same thing as Jamie. You see, we all do the same things. If you think you're the only person out there that's doing the thing wrong, you ask the question, you ask for Leann's help, and then we get other people going, oh yeah, well I do that. And then you don't feel so silly then, do you? Because everyone else is doing it. Chances are, if you've got a problem, you've got a question, other people are having that same sort of thing. Christina says, great rhymes, Ben. I will try and remember that. You're welcome, everybody. If it helps you stick in your head, you're welcome. And Jane says, this really feels like a craft support show, and I'm loving it. We are here to support you and help you. We do these shows every day. We're always here for you. I know this is even more interactive than we normally are, but yes. Oh, and there's another question which I didn't ask. Fiona, I apologise, and then we'll definitely do your thing, Ruth. Fiona says, I need to stamp a sentiment onto mirror card. How can I do this, and what is the best ink to use? Would embossing help?
That's an excellent question, Fiona. That is a job equal to the nigh on impossible.
Right.
Because with mirror card, you have got the film, the shiny mirror film, and then you've got a glue holding the film to the card. And so things are going to want to move on that. So your best option, and even then I'll explain why this isn't a great option, your best option is a pigment ink and some clear embossing powder, heat with a heat tool. However, the heat tool is going to want to affect the mirror and the glue underneath the mirror film, keeping it on the card. So I would say don't set yourself up for failure.
No.
Use your mirror card for matting and layering, and put your sentiment onto something else and put a nice border of the mirror around it, is what I would suggest. However, if it absolutely has to be on the mirror card for whatever concept you've got, try pigment and heat emboss. However, when you've got your mirror card and you've stamped with your pigment ink pad and you've put your clear embossing powder, and heat from underneath. Don't heat on top of the mirror, heat underneath the white card. It'll take a little bit longer, keep your tool moving, but then you've got less chance of affecting the mirror surface.
Okay. So stamping on mirror card is really quite hard. Good morning from Arizona. You guys helped me start my day with a smile and a laugh, says Joanne French. Thank you for these questions. Let's do Ruth. So Ruth has been waiting patiently. She has problems, Leann, with shading and highlighting.
Okay, so we're going to do this with the Illustrator markers.
Illustrators, yeah.
Principles apply across everything that you colour with. So you need to preserve a highlight and you need to pick a dark area. And you put more colour in the dark area, less colour in the light area, and that's your highlight and your shade. So let's do it with a alcohol marker.
Yep.
But the same principle would apply for watercolour, for pencils, whatever it is you're colouring with. Okay. So I'm going to stamp a flower. And let's start with that. Okay, so I'm going to colour pink petal on this flower. So I've got 3 colours of my Illustrator. We've got the illustrators on the show, and I am actually using here the sketching set.
Yep.
And I'm going to start with my deepest pink colour. So what you do is you start with your lightest colour. Let's start there first. Let's talk this through from the beginning. Start from your lightest colour in the place where it's going to be darkest, because this is going to have the highest concentration of ink. And wet card blends much better. Wet ink blends better than dry card. So you get some colour down where it's going to be darkest. And you leave it white, your image, where you're going to have the highlight, where it's going to be lightest. And that's called preserving your highlight. So you see I've left all of this area white, and I've just got a bit of my lightest colour down there. This is going to allow the next colour that I add to blend much more easily. So I've got the lightest colour, and then I'm going in with my darker colour over the top. And this is again in where the shade is, in the darkest area. So you can see I've got that there, and I go over the top again, just laying the colour down. And then I go back with that first colour or a middle colour, depends whether you're blending 2 colours or 1. and if you're blending three colours or two, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
You would go with your middle tone at this point. Actually, I'm going to do that on the end. I'm just trying to pick 3 colours that'll work in this set. There we go. And then you blend that back out. Now, if you let your ink dry, you will not get the smooth blend that you hope for.
Right.
So you can see there, I let it dry a little bit too long while I was talking. So what I can now do is go back in with this original colour and flick that out.
Yeah.
And that seamlessly morphs into that blend. You can see that there. And then I take the colour again, so it's getting deeper and deeper in the base of the flower, and it gets lighter and lighter at the tip of the flower. And I always preserve a highlight, I always leave a little bit white until the very end, when I feel that my blend is looking seamless, and it's fine to go back in with more ink, because look, I'm deepening the shade here. And then I'm flicking out with this colour here.
Yeah.
Into the preserved highlight till I feel I'm happy with it, and then that gets one light swipe. And that's how you get that dimension on that petal. If you wanted to put a little bit of an extra shade in, here I've got a purple pen, this is a lilac, and lilac or grey gives a really lovely deep shade, or a blue. Let me just find, I'm sure I've got one in here. Here's a grey.
You may have already mentioned this, but I'm sort of looking at questions and stuff coming through, but with the alcohol colouring particularly, it's doing it so with this flower, for example, it's doing it piece by piece, isn't it?
Always
rather than
piece by
doing
piece.
the whole big image.
Never do the whole big
No.
image. The alcohol will dry.
Yeah, exactly
It will
right.
evaporate.
Yeah.
So you've got to do it with in small pieces at a time.
Yeah.
Now here's a grey, and you see all I'm doing is going into the shadow of that petal, just where these petals are lying over the top. I've put a tiny bit of that grey in, and then with the same colour deep pink, just go back over the top of that, and what that does is give you the shade, and it brings that petal even more to life. So preserve your highlight, keep an area white, and only fill that in at the very end, and put some kind of deeper colour into the very depths of where you would want it darker. And as long as you've got a very definite dark and light area, that's how you get your shade and highlight. And it's the same principle regardless of the marker or the type of, whether it's watercolour, pencils, alcohol, doesn't matter. Same principles apply.
Thank you. Hopefully that helps for you, Ruth, as well. I think it's a great demonstration. And again, if that's helped you as well, then so much the better. Few hellos. I can't believe we're almost an hour into the show. Stephanie says, Ben, I bet you thought this would be a nice quiet show compared to the record-breaking bargain show with you and Leanne the other day. Yeah, absolutely. I knew this would be busy, but not the chaos that was that show. It was fun, that, wasn't it? A lot of people have been talking about that. Janice is just saying about what you've just shown us. Is this the same principle, Janice Watson says, as TriBlend pens? She says, I'm concentrating so hard I miss half of the talking.
Yes, exactly the same principle. If you've got the TriBlend pen, the 3 colours that you need are already in the pen. Start with the darkest, move to the middle, go to the lightest, preserve your highlight.
Okay, and same could be said then also about the Classiques, right?
Yes,
yeah,
exactly the same principle. It doesn't matter which alcohol marker you're using or which watercolour, the principle is exactly the same.
More questions. Amazing tips, says Joanne Bosworth. Thank you. It has been an amazing show. You get the very best advice from the very best in the business. That's what I'm talking about. Question from Altja, who says, can you tell me, okay, can you tell me, watercolour card, is it always the same? I think basically she's asking, is there better
Quality varies.
The quality, okay.
Quality varies. If you want to get the same results that I get here, just buy the Crafter's Companion watercolour card, or buy a good quality one. Don't buy 500 sheets for £2.50 because it isn't going to work.
Okay, Deborah Capalucci Benson says, I'm here at work. I can't be on too long, but I'm loving all the tips and the inspiration. I can't wait to go home and create tonight. Tracy Jean says, what is in the box that is in front of the Gemini? That is the Tricolor pens, I think. We can have a look at those in a second, if you want.
Yeah, we can have a look at them too. So I've just been doing those leaves. You can see I'm using the same principle, popping a little bit of yellow on there really does help, and that's with the highlight. If you want to lessen that, just take your light green and pop over, and you layer your colours, you still get that lovely highlight.
Yeah.
It's just not as intense.
Just on that, Ruth is back with a follow-up question. You're getting your money's worth today, Ruth, I tell you, but we're pleased for you. We're pleased for you. She says, thank you for the demo. Awesome. How do you know where to put the shadow / highlight? She says, like on the place with multiple petals getting in the way.
Have you got Academy of Colour? Ruth?
No, I don't think she does.
If there's one on the website, if there's a cheap Academy of Colour box, it's worth it just to get access to the 18 hours of education.
Yeah.
And all of these questions are answered. But to give you the short answer, when you look at a flower like this, if you imagine, so very quickly, if I just show you, look, when I put my hand over that card, can you see the shadow? So anything underneath is going to be darker because this is blocking the light. So this is getting the light, this underneath is darker, we can see the shadow. So when you look at your flower, these 3 petals are over the top of this bottom petal, which means the shadow is in here, and this is out, taking all the light, which is this is lighter.
Yeah.
So if I was to colour this petal in here, I'll just draw it on with a green pen. I'm not going to colour it green, but I'll draw it on for you. This is where it would be darker here and here. Okay, that's where your shade would be.
Yeah.
On this petal, your shade would be here because it's turned over and this bit would be light. On this petal, it's darker here because it's turned over. On this petal, here, because the 2 top petals are lying over the top of it. Here too, and here too. So these are the darker areas on this flower. So it's wherever something is lying over or folding over, that's where the darker colour goes. And as you move into the inside, it would be here and here and here and here.
Excellent. We're almost at the top of the hour. We've got a couple of minutes. So Cindy, let me hold your question over because there's a couple of things I want to touch on, something which is just reminding me from what they're chatting about in my ear. Friday Night Live is back. It's me and Sheena. If you've got any pictures you want to send in, we do a section called Friday Night Faves where we show your favourite projects that you've been working on currently. If your project features in the gallery, which is towards the end of the show, or maybe it won't be this week, maybe we'll put it somewhere else. You'll have to watch to find out. Watch the show, send in a picture of your favourite project that you've worked on recently, watch the show, and if your picture features and you see it, you can message into us and claim yourself. It was bonus points last week, which was rather nice. But if you'd like to send us in a picture for that, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. And just also to mention, if you are shopping today, which I know lots of you are, we have a limited amount. Now, yesterday, if you were shopping with us, you'll know that we were giving away free signed pictures of me and Craig with every purchase. I mean, I think we had about 50,000 of those, at least 50,000 of those. And now we are down to double figures. So what, there weren't 50,000. What we thought we would do. 250,000. Talk to the hand. Can't remember what I was saying now. Oh yes, so we had a few, because there was tens of thousands, and we've only got a few left now. So rather than just putting them back in the warehouse, for the next handful of people who check out, you'll get a signed photo of me and Craig. So here's the thing: if you definitely want to get one, be one of the next about, I suppose, 50 or 60 people or so to check out. If you're not that fussed, you really don't want a picture of me and Craig in your package, just hang on a little bit. Wait for those 60 people to go through the checkout, and then yours will be Craig and Ben free. But we are doing that just for the next few people who shop. So if you want that signed photo, I would say make sure you check out within the next sort of half hour or so, and you will get a free signed picture of me and Craig Bagel in your package. And he's back tonight as well for our 60-minute deal show live from 5. If you have just joined us, what a first hour we have done just there. It has been so popular. It's a Colour Me Happy show, which I know you guys absolutely love anyway, and we've asked to make this interactive. Boy, oh boy, have you delivered? There's been so many questions. There's been lots of people asking for requests as well. So thank you. I have a new batch of questions which are flying through. So let me know when you want me to ask those to Leanne, and we will. And just generally, lots of you are just saying what wonderful tips, what wonderful ideas. Mary Beth Dawes says, wonderful tip for shading. Thank you. I needed that. And Ruth says, thanks, team. Ultra says, thank you very much, Leanne. I know what you mean. Janice says, thank you, Ben and Leanne. And Leanne says, Stephanie, you are inspiring, and I could just watch you 24/7.
Oh, thank you.
Do you want a few quick fires?
Yeah,
before we get into this. So we're going to look at the Tricolor brush markers in just a second, which are different again to what you might have seen, because a few people have clocked those on the counter. But let me just succinctly try and get these questions in. There's 3 of them, I think, here. So Cindy Conley says, so back to what we were doing in the last hour. She says, so using aqua pens instead with what you were doing, we put the concentration of pen ink where it's the shadow, then drag out with more and more water to highlight, or do you use different colour aqua markers?
Exactly the first thing. Put all of the colour in where the shadow is and drag out with water to make the highlight.
Okay, great question though, Cindy. Really good question. Nadia says, I'm still a bit new to crafting. Welcome. What type of ink is best for acetate, especially when heat embossing on acetate?
Pigment. The end.
You've got to be ready, Jamie, because sometimes it's just the one word. What is the best ink, says Margaret, what is the best ink that's quick dry for stamping sentiments?
Quick dry ink.
And Karen Zweigart says, there are so many types of ink pads. Is there a written list anywhere of what they do or their features? I mean, I suppose it's on the web, isn't it?
I think it's on our website, yeah.
And Jane Adams says, what a beautiful outfit, Leanne.
Oh, thank you. Bringing a bit of sunshine. If there is no sunshine, be the sunshine.
Yeah, it's Jules.
Jules, yeah, it is Jules.
As we found out in the last show. This, says Robbie Hedrick, is one of the best shows. Whatever? Leanne, I love Leanne. I love, well, just read it, Ben, it's words. I love it when Leanne is on. She is so knowledgeable and she loves to share the knowledge.
I do love to share the knowledge, I do. You have me rumbled. I love to share, because if you're buying the stuff, if you've got it at home, I genuinely want you to get the best out of it and thoroughly enjoy using it. And if I can help you with that, then that makes me very happy.
And you see, that's where we're better than going to a store as well, because if you go into a store and buy something you think you might like, you then get it home, and then you get a bit stuck, and you're a bit stuffed, aren't you then, really? Because you're like, well, what am I going to do? Here, you can buy, and you can get all of the advice and inspiration. You can copy demos that we do too. I just think it's brilliant, as I say. If you are thinking about buying today, you can ask the questions before you buy, or indeed, say for example, the Tricolor brush pens that we're looking at now, if you bought these previously and you got them home and you think, oh, I don't really know what to do with them, we can supply the answers right now. So whichever way, get your questions and comments in. As far as I'm aware, I am up to date and up to speed with all of the comments and questions. So we have another about 55 minutes or so on this show. If you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to get my question answered, the floor is open. So ask that question. If there's anything particular on the show, you can see the shop show on the website, anything that we've got on the show, about the ink pads that we've got, about any of the pen sets that we've got that you're not sure about, you want to buy, ask, and we will try and get through as many questions and requests as we can in this next hour. We're going to have a look though at the Tricolor brush markers. These are on an exceptional deal today. And by the way, as much as you've got Leanne to thank for all of the inspiration, all of the knowledge, all of the answers, you've also got Leanne to thank for all of the deals today as well. It's nothing to do with me today. No. These are all of Leanne's deals. How on earth have you got these down to £32.48 platinum?
I just put my foot down with a firm hand, Ben.
Did you?
And just said, that's what I want.
Yeah.
And that's what we've got.
Yeah.
So that's the end of that story.
Talk to us about these, because these, again, are slightly different to perhaps, these are not TriBlends, are they?
They're not TriBlend.
No.
So TriBlend, let me just get the 3 colours here and I can show you. There we go. TriBlend is 3 colours of the same hue. So if you've got a cool pink, you'll have a dark cool pink, a middle cool pink and a light cool pink to give you this result. A Tricolor pen is 3 different colours in one marker to give you an ombre between 3 different colours. So for example here, a fuchsia, an orange and a more lemony tangerine colour. And that is difficult to work out yourself when you've got your markers at home, because you have to get the same intensity of colour for that to work, so that one colour doesn't bleach out the next.
Yeah.
If you use a lighter colour of intensity with a darker, it will bleach out the colour. So we have done all of the very difficult mixing for you and put 3 different colours. So here we've got a magenta, a bright orange and a regular orange in one pen. And you know that it will work for you because we've done the hard work.
Yeah.
Let me show you what I mean by that. Look, magenta, orange, bright orange, more golden orange. So 3 entirely different colours, but you'll get a beautiful blend because we've done the hard work for you. So what you do is you start at one end of your Tricolor brush and you put down that darkest ink or the brightest colour, and you can start from either end, it doesn't matter. There is not a right or wrong end to work from.
Yeah.
These 3 colours work together, that's all you need to be concerned about. Put that colour down, then take the next colour just over the edge of that colour. So you don't go right back over the top of it again, you just go over the edge and it makes that blend for you. And then you go to the colour you haven't used and you go to the edge of the colour and drag that out, and you get that beautiful seamless blend between the 3 different colours. So I'll just show you that once again on this other side. You start with one end of the pen,
Yeah.
put down some colour. Go to the other end of the pen, you go to the edge of where you've put the colour, not right back over the top again, and you just come from the edge out a little bit. That blend happens for you seamlessly because we've done the intensity for you. It's not bleaching each other out. And then your final one, just to the edge to fill in the space, and you get that beautiful ombre.
Yeah.
And that happens the same with every single one of the markers. So let's start with this one, which is much, much darker. Let's do it down here. So we've got this beautiful, and I'll just show you the colours actually. You've got this fabulous blue turquoise, then you've got this almost emerald green, and then you've got a citrus green. 3 very different colours.
Yeah.
So you start with one end, put down your colour, go to the other, just go to the edge of the colour you've applied, bring that out, and then go to the colour you haven't used, and you get that blend between the 3. And if I'll just do it differently over here, so show you how you can use the same pen in a different way.
Yeah.
Put the dark down, and instead of using the middle colour, I'm going to use, instead of using the end, I'm going to use the middle colour because I did it in the opposite way before. Just go to the end and drag that out. So you see now I've gone from a blue to a green.
Yeah.
And then here, I'm going to add in the brighter green, and I've gone to that lush verdant in between.
Love
you
that.
get those ombres between the 3 different colours. The 3 colours are in the marker for you.
I feel like this is the perfect stamp to demonstrate these as well, isn't it?
It is. This is one of Sheena's bold butterflies. I
Yeah.
think they're on a really good deal
On the
today as
show,
well.
yeah, as well.
These are just superb for colouring in this way. I think the top tip I would say, if you're brand new to using these markers, work down the marker in that order. So let me see, it doesn't matter which end you start with. So let's do this one again here. So I'm starting with one end of the marker, and that's the beautiful deep orange that we've got. Then I'm going to the middle of the marker. And then I'm going to the end of the marker.
Yeah.
The other end, the opposite end. And you see how we've got that ombre. Now if I do it in the other way, in the other direction, let's do that here. I'll start with the lightest. So I've started at the opposite end of the marker, then to the middle, and then to the other end, which is the darker. It still works. And if you want to just smooth out the blend, just back to the middle again, and you
Yeah.
get the same effect. So you can start at the light end or the dark end, it doesn't matter. Because we've got the intensity of colours all worked out for you, it really does make it very, very easy for you to achieve. This marker I love. So this one goes from, I'll just show you, this goes from a purple to a different tone, and then to a pink, a vintage pink.
Yeah.
Three entirely different colours. but again, works absolutely beautifully. So you go one end, then to the middle of the marker, see how that's blended out there, and then to the opposite end of the marker, and look at the ombre you get there.
And like you touched on earlier, even if you're just using these as individual colours, you've got 54 individual colours for that amazing price.
Yes.
So
it's fantastic value for money. These are one of my favourite markers to use.
Oh, okay.
Because of the beautiful brush on there, of course, makes it so much easier to get your colour down. But the fact that those ombres are all worked out for me, it looks so different, and I don't have to faff on finding 3 colours that work together in my collection. And you get beautiful, beautiful results that really are unique to anything else you would get with alcohol colouring.
Genius, says Cindy Condy. And Cat Butt, hello Cat, says, hi everyone, Leanne, the genius, in brackets, oh, you're the genius.
Ooh.
Ben, just Ben. Team and crafties. Tricolors are great. They were my first markers and give great results for beginners. And I now have 100s or hundreds of markers, says Catbutt. I'll show you the bold butterflies. Just we can carry on watching the end colour, and then we've got a couple more questions come in, which we might have to sort of talk about rather than demonstrate, I think. But this is the collection from which Leanne has taken that stamp, Sheena's Bold Butterflies. A stunning collection. If you're wanting, as far as I'm concerned, some of the best butterfly stamps you're going to get your hands on in the whole world of craft, look no further. And the price today as well, thank Sheena for the collection, thank Leanne for the price. All of these Leanne's picks on the Colour Me Happy show, 24 quid for the lot. These retailed at nearly £68, nearly 80 bucks. You can pick them up today for £24 or £31.20 if you're platinum. Each of the sets, you get the really big, generous size and beautifully detailed butterfly, the main kind of butterfly. You'll then get your 2 smaller butterflies within each set, and then the sentiments to go with. So this one here is the peacock butterfly. You've got Thank You and Make a Wish. What's really lovely about this set, though, is that if you do just want to stamp into your project, you can, but you'll notice here, you get the dies. So the dies there will cut out the smaller ones. And yes, the split larger die here means that you can cut the whole thing out if you want it as a topper. If you just want to cut out one side of the butterfly, you can. If you want to cut out the other side of the butterfly, you can. You can place it wherever you want on your project. If you want it as an edgeable, you can do that. Just such versatility with the most magnificent of collections. And look at all the different butterflies that you're going to be getting in this set. This one is the Red Admiral butterfly. And again, main kind of focal stamp, that really big, generous sized image, which I think, you know, as Leanne's demonstrating, would be perfect for using your tricolours with. The 2 smaller butterflies, and then the stamps that go with this. So you've got On Your Special Day, you have got Sending Lots of Love, and Enjoy the Little Things. It was that one I was trying to read, actually. There it is, there. Enjoy the Little Things. And then you've also got the dies to cut out the smaller stamps, and then that split die to cut out your main image. So that's your Admiral. This one is your Monarch. And again, large, 2 small. You've also got your guys to be able to cut those out, and you've got Hello, Just For You, and Just Because. And lastly is your Swallowtail, which again comes with the 3 butterfly stamps and 3 sentiments, butterfly wishes, best friend, and also happy birthday. I think value for money wise, you will not go wrong at all. These pens are my go-to for colouring butterflies, says Anne. I can understand why. I absolutely can understand why. Question, just whilst I grab some stuff. Lisa P is asking, I don't know if we potentially have an embossing folder to demonstrate this, but you say, can you please talk about or/show colouring into an embossing folder? What methods are possible using our pens and inks with embossing folders? So that's like letter pressing, isn't it? Yeah,
you can do watercolour, you can do alcohol, whichever you want. I have got these, we've got these on the show, the illustrated embossing folders. Yeah. I can emboss one and show you if you like.
Okay, I'm up for that. Should we do that now? Okay.
I've got my do you want to just see some examples of the Tricolor first? Because I think when you see the results with these Tricolor, you might get you to understand what I mean about the ombres of colour, to be able to colour in your different images. Look how beautiful all of these are, where you've got those different ombres of colour, and you've got the real intense or the beautiful soft markers in here as well. Look at that rose with the ombre of purple and red there. Look at this with those butterflies. This seahorse, my word, with all of the lilacs and the turquoises on there. That's incredible. Then look at this fairy dress. Look at that. The ombres between those colours is incredible. And you can go really intense or really soft and subtle. I just don't think you'll be disappointed with those markers at all. If you were going to invest in some markers today, those would be the markers for me that I would encourage you to go for. So I will get one of these illustrated embossing folders out and I'll emboss it, and then we'll come back.
What cardstock did you use, by the way, with the butterfly? Betsy's asking.
Sorry?
What cardstock did you use?
It's either Nina or our premium marker card for alcohol.
Okay. Right. Just whilst Leanne's getting ready, let me show you just a fantastic deal. Quickly whiz through a stunner of a deal. Oh, my goodness me. This is what we call a bonkers deal. Shut the front door deal. I don't know what you call this. This is called a just buy deal. The Wild at Heart die stencil embossing folder selection. You're saving over 70%, and everything I'm about to show you, you're getting for £16 or $22.40. Bonkers. This embossing folder, beautiful embossing folder, is called Raw. You're getting that alongside your perfect print, which will go very nicely actually with a stencil that Leanne used a little bit earlier on, which is in the bundle, of course. You've got your Fashionista Build a Handbag set, which is your dies to be able to build a handbag, and then the stencils to be able to put whichever print you want on your handbag. So 3 different mini stencils there. You then get masks and stencils in this set too, so that these are available as an individual deal. However, you can get them in the bundle. You've got your giraffe print. I mean, this price, you're having a giraffe, aren't you, really? I'm going to stick my neck out and say you're probably going to buy this if you haven't got it. You've also got this one here, which is your leopard print. I think you'll find, they're just saying Leanne's glancing over and she's not impressed. I think you'll find that was a look of love across the studio. That was a look of, isn't he so funny, that guy over there? He's so talented, he's so funny, he's so quick-witted. I wish he would tell more jokes. That's what that look is. That's what that look is, I'm telling you. You've also got stripes in there. I kind of always think with that one as well, as much as that is your zebra, yes, it could be. You could use that for your seaside themed cards, because that definitely could be waves. Could also be like reeds as well, couldn't it, if you flipped it the other way for your tropical collection. By the way, if you're thinking already, this is amazing for £16 or $22. I'm not even started, because you've got all of your sentiments in there as well. Wild at Heart, Stay Wild, Dare to Dream. Yes, you've got everyone's favourite in there as well. Yes, Queen. You've got your ribbon threading dies included in there as well. You're also going to get in this set your Chin, which is that beautiful, great for sort of celebratory cards, your glass. What's the word I was looking for? Not goblet. Anyway, it's just a glass. It's a wine glass, a flute.
Flute, champagne flute.
Flute. Thank you so much. Where you've got your little, again, stencils so you can pop in the detail there. Love the fact that you've got the little die to create the bubbles as well. You've got your beautiful bows. You've also got in the set shoes. What a girl wants, that's called. What a girl needs. Whatever makes you happy sets me free. And you've got your delicate lace die. You've got Oh So Glam. Look at that set. That could be, it could be what? Oh yes, Christmas lights, it could be. But other fact, you've got that cute little frame in there, and then the set of like decorative circle nesting dies, and the Glamour Girl, which is the stencils and stamps to be able to create the most fabulous project. Look, all of that again, let me just quickly, like this, all of that, all of your beautiful edgeables, you've got your shoes, you've got your bows, you've got your chin glasses, you've got your ribbon threading dies in there, so much I can't even hold it. You've got all of those stamps, you've got stencils, 1, 2, 3, you have got your handbag in there, dies and stencils, and then you've got 2 embossing folders, £16 or $22. If you, I mean, pretty much, I know that is labelled as a die stencil embossing folder selection. That's pretty much everything that was in the Wild at Heart collection without the consumables. That is, I'm having to like not say words I should say here. That's a ridiculous deal. Because again, we're not talking about a collection which is 2-3 years old. This was like one of the biggest selling launches that we had on birthday last year. So if you haven't got it, you are welcome, everybody. You are welcome. Right, I was just filling now, and I can't remember what we were going on to next, as I'm still...
So we're going on to the illustrated embossing folders to colour on an embossing folder. That was the question we had. Before I go there, I said I would show you the Shimmer Ink pads on black, and I didn't. We got distracted.
Oh, yes.
So I've just done that with one of the flame red colours. Oh, there we go. So that's on black. So you see it's got more of an orange, and on the white it's more of a red.
Yeah.
So you see more of the shimmer with a tinge on black, and then you see more of the colour with a tinge of gold on the white.
Okay.
Okay, there you
go. Embossing folders. I just want to ask this question as well, because LA Price, thank you. I know you asked this earlier and I forgot to ask it, and I think it will be a point of... I think I know what Leanne's going to say, but let's find out. She says, hello, can Leanne show something on how to use dark skin colours? Now, I don't know if we necessarily have the pens in here to do that, but if you're wanting to talk about colouring different skin colours...
Academy of Colour.
I knew it.
So the portrait collection is in stock, and it's very reasonable. I think it's £24.95.
Right.
And with that, you get a card that opens up the 18 hours of education for you on Academy of Colour. And then when that opens up for you, there is approximately 15 different skin tones pre-worked out for you with all of the marker colours. And in the education, I'll show you how to do the deepest, darkest skin colour there is. I haven't got the markers here, so that would be tricky for me to gather in an Academy of Colour without knowing that I was going to do it. Please go and get that portrait box and watch the Academy of Colour. Anybody who's got Academy of Colour and now colours beautiful dark skin tone, comment please and let, what was the lady's name?
LA.
Sorry?
LA Price.
LA Price. Let LA Price know how useful it was to you.
Yeah, and of course the benefit about that as well is, I mean, obviously we've only got half an hour left on this show. There's hours and hours of tutorials there.
18.
Which you can watch in your own time, pause, rewind, replay. So that's great. Digital Leanne. Jane says, Leanne, that looks like the look my mum would give me when I was in trouble. It was a look of love. I'm telling you, if you took it as anything else, you were looking incorrectly. As is that. Look at that. There's a gaze of love. Anyway, should we have a look at Leanne? She's going to show us embossing folders, which you can get for less than a tenner. Details on your screen here, £8.80 or £13.60. I'll show you the full collection in just a second. What can we do with them? So
I've embossed one of the illustrated embossing folders. I think you can see the lines there. That's lovely, there you go. Now all you're going to do is follow the embossed line like a stamped line. So take your marker. I have done this on our marker card. If it was watercolour, do it on watercolour card and use your aqua markers. So you just start to colour. Now I'm using the embossed lines like a stamped line. So I'm just following those. You can go over them because there's something I'm going to show you as a little trick.
Okay.
So what I will do is I'll go over the internal lines, not over the external lines. And just lay your colours down exactly as I was showing you before with these Tricolor markers.
Yeah.
And great when we've got a bit of a wider space so you can see that going down. So this is just a little leaf that I've done. There you go with the Tricolor. Pretty. Now let's go straight in with, oh here it is here. And then let's do a couple of little petals on the floral and you'll see what I mean. So if I just stick to one side of the flower, I'm not going to do the whole thing. We'll colour this little bit in here. So I'm going in exactly as I did with the stamp, but I'm using the embossed lines. Don't worry if it's not 100% perfect, and I'm going to show you why in a second. So you put that in there, and then the final colour in here. I
think these are great for people who perhaps struggle with colouring as well, because it's almost like you've got the embossed lines there, like bumper bars, haven't you? That
yes,
just help
it's like
you
a little...
little safety blanket.
Yeah. Oh, there's a word for it. It'll come back to us in a minute and I'll shout it at you.
Okay.
Like a reservoir.
A what?
A reservoir.
Oh, okay. That's not the word I was expecting you to say.
So I'm going to pop that there and then we'll do another petal here. So I'm just going in with the colour, and you don't need to worry about being too precise with this at all. All will become obvious in a second. I'm just worrying about getting the colour down.
Whilst you're putting the colour down, Wanda's just saying, is there a plan for a sequel to the AOC or similar. I really enjoyed it. I learned an enormous amount from it, and I miss spending the time with Leanne.
Oh, thank you so much. Do you know, I thoroughly enjoyed doing that, and I do miss having those classes planned in every month. I really do. We've talked about a follow-up. We haven't got it planned in as yet.
Okay.
We've talked about doing something along the mixed media line.
Oh, okay.
Because we've done all of the kind of pencil and aqua marker and alcohol in there. There's nothing else I could really add.
No.
That would just be, you know, doing the same for same's sake, and there's no reason to do that when you've already got all of that colouring. So we have thought about doing the mixed media, you know, with all like the glitter paste and shimmer sprays and that kind of thing. So let me know what you think of that idea. If you think that's a good idea, then that's something we can certainly look at doing.
Yeah, there you go, Wanda. She also says, I'm loving the show. Always love to see your name, Wanda. One of the very first people to like my Facebook page when I started here 4 years ago. I always remember that. Yes, true story, that. And Evelyn Boyd says, good morning, Leanne and Ben. I love you so much. Well, we love you too, Evelyn. She says, I have the Academy of Colours, and it was amazing, and it helped me so much, says Evelyn.
Thank you. So everybody, you know, everybody says that. I don't think I've seen a comment from anybody who hasn't gotten a brilliant experience from that Academy of Colours.
Genuinely,
it's just so fabulous.
and I say it every time because you know, I'm here obviously every day. I read the comments, I see the testimonials. And actually, and this is not just at Crafters Companion. This is in my whole time working in the world of craft. I have never seen so many positive comments and actually so many people saying the Academy of Colour changed my life. I've never seen a product loved as much as the Academy of Colour, and heard from so many people saying how much it helped them. It was and still is a revelation, I think, Leanne, in the world of craft.
And you know, I love that. And it was just from a desire of, you know, doing these shows, hearing the frustrations that some of you have when you're colouring, and then genuinely just wanting to help you all have the confidence to have a go. And I think that's what Academy of Colour does for you, we're able to do in these shows. Right, I'm going to stop there. So I've been colouring that illustrated embossing folder, and you can see I'm using the lines, the outside lines as a guide. I'm ignoring the inside lines. Then what you do is just take an alcohol-proof ink pad. I've got Flagstone here. And then just a very light rub. And it picks out all of the little lines for you. Now, don't look at the areas where I haven't coloured.
No.
But you know, you don't have to do it as dark as this. You can pick a Harmony Water Reactive if you wanted to. And then that will pick out the lines for you and see if you're tracing over it, and that makes you look like you've got a stamped image.
Fab.
Okay.
Absolutely brilliant tip. If you want the full set of the embossing folders, again, I mean, these weren't launched that long ago, to be honest, and we're literally giving, well, not literally giving them away, but pretty much giving them away. £8.80 for the full set. Normally £23.94 or £35.94. So these were, I'm trying to work out how much that should be easy maths to you, Ben. £7.99 each, I think.
You know what we're doing, Ben, is, and I know this obviously because I work at product development, is we're making space in the warehouse for all of the new stuff that we've developed.
Yeah.
So to make space, you know, we've got a finite amount of space in that warehouse. So to make space for all of the new stuff, we're letting you have the other stuff at very, very good prices. So it's definitely the time to be shopping. Just realistically then, if you're platinum, it's pretty much you buy 2, you get 4 free within the bundle. And look at all the beautiful designs you've got. Hydrangeas in here. You know, we feature, I think, lots of people's favourite florals, hellebores. We've got the... That's mine.
Hellebores.
Yeah, I love it.
Butterflies.
Flowers.
What's that? They're your favourites?
Hellebore.
You've got foliage in there as well, so flourishing foliage, as our Debbie Robinson would say, garden roses. I mean, you're not going to go too far wrong there at all, are you? And then lastly is the absolutely beautiful pretty peonies. I love that mixed media idea, says Mary Jo Bending. It sounds awesome. Sign me up. Alison Jarrett says, I love the AOC. AOC. What blew my mind was adding grey to the green when colouring the tree. So I feel like Sarah learnt that tip and trick off you as well, didn't she?
Yeah. Yes, she did. All of Sarah's colouring. Sarah, in fact, couldn't colour.
No.
Before I started teaching her, and she'll happily tell you.
No,
that
she does say that about you.
She really, really struggles, and all of the colouring that she does now, we've done together. And she absolutely has loved every minute of it, and she's a fantastic colourist now.
Jenny Barger, hello Jenny, says, that was one of my favourite techniques. I love, says Trish Lestelle, the Academy of Colours. Cindy Conley says a mixed media academy would be a fabulous idea. Ruth says, Leanne, you are a wonderful teacher, isn't she? And Jean Marie Penny says, hello everybody. I love watching you, Leanne, and the mixed media AOC would be amazing. My craft room is bulging with CC stuff that I've forgotten how to use. Well, Jean Marie, these are the shows for you, because we've heard that a lot today actually. A lot of people saying, well, I've got this set of pens, or I've got this set of ink pads, or I've got this and that and the other, and I've forgotten how to use it. You've got, well, by the time we come back, you'll have about 25 minutes. Anything you want to ask us about when it comes to colouring, anything that's currently in your craft room which you haven't opened up and you don't know how to use, please ask. Or if there's anything that you spied on the show that you love the look of, love the price of, and you want to buy it, but you need to get a question answered before you do, please ask. My slate is now clean. I'm ready for more questions. We are ready for more of your requests. You have 5 minutes to get them in. If you're not doing that, get to the checkout. Remember, next, I think about 30 or 40 people who check out will get that free signed photo of me and Craig. I mean, what a reason to get checked out quickly. If you don't want that, just wait an hour and you'll be fine. We'll meet you back here in about 3 or 4 minutes' time with the final wrap-up for what has been a brilliant show. We'll see you in a moment.
When I'm working, it's quite busy because I have to get up really early to come into work if I'm going to be travelling from London. But otherwise, I'm quite lazy. I spend a lot of time in bed. Best part of my day is when we come in and I get to see everybody. I really enjoy being up here. It's really nice to see all my friends, and this is my happy place. I do like to see everyone. Also, of course, if Christina's in, I'm getting my breakfast from Christina before I start the day. Early riser without a doubt, never a night owl. I'm in bed at 9:30. Bath at night, shower in the morning. I'm very clean. Tea, the colour of He-Man. Both. I like pancakes with bacon, maple syrup. Craft along, because there's always a softer side to craft along. My phone, my life is my phone. Yeah, the phone and the dog, unless I'm coming up here and I can't bring the dog in. My favourite lunch isn't lunch. My favourite lunch is afternoon tea. That's what I'd like. A selection of sandwiches, some scones, or scones, some cream and jam, and some little cakes. But I couldn't have it every day because I'd be the size of a house. Oh, that changes for the moment. My favourite song at the moment is Natasha Bedingfield, Unwritten. Or make myself a cup of tea and go and have a bath.
I like to get up, chill, relax, get a cup of tea, then get myself sorted. And if I'm presenter, I'll write all my notes. If I'm the demonstrator, I'll get my prep out, have another look at it, make sure that everything is the way it needs to be for the show, do the show. Then what I'll do is I'll grab something to eat. Then have another look at the sheets again, making sure the next show's all good to go. Then we do that show, tidy. I always like to make sure that the area is nice and tidy, either for myself the next day or whoever's in. Jump in the car, head home. I will quickly unpack what I need to unpack, and then I get on that sofa as quick as I can. As soon as we go live, I love that within our live shows, I always get the butterflies. As soon as we get that countdown in our ear that we're just going live, butterflies kick in, and within about 10-15 seconds, I'm going. Butterflies have gone, and we just enjoy the show. Early riser. Oh, shower in the morning. Tea. Oh, savoury breakfast. Masterclass. My mobile phone. Oh, anything with chicken. Currently, it is the weekend, Blinding Light, and it has been for about a couple of years, and I still love it. Apart from jumping in the car, chilling on the sofa, watching TV.
What was that count, Jamie? 2, 4, 1, 0. If you want to see the real live Craigle Bagel, he is back tonight live at 5. We have got a 60-minute deals show for you, which will literally be, in case you're wondering, by the way, what that sound effect is in the background, Leanne is shaking her sparkle. Shake, 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 Sharona, shake your body around. Shake, shake, shake. Anyway, yes, Craig is back tonight with me at 5 for a 1-hour show. You have to watch that show. It's 60 minutes with deals that won't be repeated. So if you don't watch that show, then you'll never know. So please try and join us for what is going to be a crazy show with some amazing deals. Now, talking about, this is how, by the way, you prep your sparkle pens, in case you didn't know, because we've got an amazing deal on these for you. 12-piece collection, £24, $36 if you're platinum. You will get in here your Essential Brights, which is aquamarine, pink garnet, and your firefly. You will get your tint and tone in there as well. One clear, also your starry sky and your black. You have got your earthy naturals, which is holly leaf, smoked quartz, and the harvest moon. Shine on, harvest moon. And your
in the sky.
I ain't had the love since January, February, June, and July. Hey! Antique vintage, which is fig, peacock blue, and macaroon. Now we're going to look at these with Leanne, and it's quite nice actually, because we always said that we wanted to demonstrate these in the show, and just at the right point, almost as if you knew Jill Smith, you said, hi both, which card to use with the sparkle pens, please? So let's have that as a starting point. Jill wants to know which card to use with the sparkle pens, and how do I use them? What am I using them for, Leanne?
Well, watercolour card, the end.
The end.
You'll get the best results. It's a water-based medium. You apply water to get brilliant effects. So therefore, watercolour card is the best card to use it on.
Yeah.
What you do is shake it to wake it. So when you first get them home, they'll have this little yellow cuff here, which stops the ink from flowing into the brush nib end. You see that brush has got no ink in it. It's not being used ever.
Yeah.
So what you're going to do is shake it to wake it, and that's going to mix the liquid with all of the glitter. And can you hear? I'm just going to do this quick. Listen.
Oh yeah.
Can you hear that? That's the little ball bearings rattling around inside the barrel, which will take the glitter, the microfine glitter that may have settled somewhere, and mix it with all of the liquid that's inside. So that's why I do all of the back upside down, backside forward, little wiggle like this, a shake like that, a roll like this, a roll. You want those little ball bearings to hit all around your barrel to make sure that you've got maximum mix of all that microfine glitter in there. So when you've done that, you're going to screw off the top and remove the cuff. You never need that again.
Okay.
And then you screw the barrel back into the top of the pen until it goes as far as it can. That pierces the chamber and will allow the ink to flow into the brush end. Now, once you've got it on as far as you can, pull that off. Don't stop twisting, because it twists on, but not as far as it needs to go. Then finish twisting that in place, and that's when the full piece happens. So twist it as far as you can with the cap on, take the cap off, and then twist it again until this clear bit meets the black bit. Then on the marker, I've put the words, moulded in the words push.
Push.
If I did these again, I would mould the word gently squeeze.
Okay.
Because if you push, you're going to get floods of ink. You're going to waste it.
Could get what?
Floods of ink.
Floods.
When you push. And you don't want to do that.
So gently
you want
squeeze.
Gently squeeze and just have a little bit. Right, now, the other thing to say is this has got a protector on, so this brush nib will feel hard. You see it's got no movement in it. So that's got a protector on to stop the bristles getting bent when they're in storage. So all you do is break that by pushing it.
Okay.
And now it's a lovely, soft, flexible brush. So now we're ready to start using it. Now when I gently push, if you keep your eyes on the chamber, you'll see, just seen it there, a little bit of the ink start to come down. Then you stop pushing because capillary action, and that's just movement, look, will have that starting to come down into the bristle sphere and it starts to flow. And that prevents you from wasting any of that beautiful, beautiful shimmer. Now this colour is like a platinum, like a silver platinum I've got here. And you can see without any pushing, just that capillary action, how that lays down all of that beautiful sparkle colour. Now I'm just going to dry that because like with the Shimmer ink pads, wet ink does not sparkle like dry ink. So if I dry this, the moisture interferes with the glitter, refracting the light. So you'd be forgiven when you do this the first time to go, well, my sparkle pens are very sparkly, but it's because it's wet, not dry.
I gotcha.
Okay, so you've got to dry it, and once you've dried it, and then you catch the light, you see you get all of that beautiful microfine glitter.
Here we go.
Oh, hang on, which way this?
That way. Ooh, yes, you
see
can.
it? Oh, hang on, that's really close. Hang on. There we go.
Rose and rose
there.
of glitter
Can you see
there.
Now, there we go. Look at that. So you can see all of that beautiful microfine glitter. When in daylight, when it's not in studio light, in daylight, oh my word. Have you ever seen the Twilight movie? It looks like Edward Cullen in the daylight. He sparkles like diamond, his skin, because he's a vampire. So if you've seen the Twilight movies, it's like Edward Cullen in the daylight.
Is that
well, any of the Cullens, any vampire.
Pattinson, is it?
Sorry?
Is that Robert Pattinson?
It is, yeah.
Are you team vampire or team werewolf?
Vampire.
Oh.
My husband's werewolf.
Oh, really? I don't know. I haven't seen the movies. Is that a stupid question, is it? Oh, right. Okay. No idea. So you're a vampire, Mr. C's a werewolf, did you say?
That's correct.
Okay.
And I'm just going to dry this.
Do you need, says Beverly, to put the yellow cuff back on when you finish using the sparkle pens?
Do I need what, sorry?
You don't need the yellow cuff again, do you, Beverly's
no,
asking?
you never need that yellow cuff again. It goes in the trash.
And how do you store them, says Beverly?
Store them flat.
Right.
Hoping you can see the glitter.
It's when you... There, now I can see it. Wiggle it up. There. Yes, you can. You can.
Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't it beautiful? Now, what you can do with this, because it's a water-based medium, it will go a long, long way. So if I just do this here, I'm going to colour something with this in a minute. This is on watercolour cardstock. So I've laid that colour down. Now, with water and a large brush, and with a damp brush, you don't want too much water, what we can do is watercolour with that. So you can drag that sparkle all the way. Look how far it'll go.
Wow. Wowee.
Look.
Got off the screen.
How incredible is that? Your camera won't even pick up the whole lot. Now I'm going to dry that. Now when you apply water, the amount of sparkle you had in this small swatch was the amount of sparkle we had here. So it does dilute the sparkle.
Yeah.
It dissipates it. So you won't have the same intensity. But what you have got is a beautiful, soft shimmer all the way down your colour ombre. You'll see it catching little bits of light and sparkle. I'm hoping
like a sparkle tornado.
Can you see it? How gorgeous that is. There we go.
Yeah, you can see that.
There.
That's
So you
incredible.
can see the sparkle all the way down. Again, in natural light, you will see that so much more. So you can do all of your watercolour and background techniques if you want to. The other thing you can do, Ben, is mix brand new colours. So here is some beautiful blue sparkle, and here is some pink sparkle.
Yeah.
Some more pink sparkle. Some yellow sparkle. Just onto my glass mat.
Yep.
And then what I can do if I want, mix the yellow and the pink together and get a brand new colour from that. This was the pink that I used.
Yeah.
And if I put more yellow in, different colour again.
Oh, okay.
And all of these have got that fantastic intense shimmer in.
Yeah.
Same with the pink and blue. Put those together. Beautiful purple. And you don't dissipate any of the colour. It really is. It's just incredible. These are one of my favourite watercolour things to work with because of the beautiful, beautiful results you get. Let me just dry these quickly and then show you the intense sparkle you get because it looks incredible here. I'm really hoping that you get, that the studio lights let you see this at home.
Oh, yes, you can.
Look at the sparkle.
Oh, my goodness me.
Look at it.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
what you're able to do at home. It is absolutely superb, and that's with that watercolour effect. Now apply that to an image. You can either take your colours directly to, if you want. So let's say I wanted to do some yellow here. You can just colour it straight from the marker. You don't have to worry about doing any kind of watercolour effect like that. So you just take your colours along and add the colour and then dry it.
Yeah.
And this is a heat embossed image that I'm doing this to. Can you see how that colour's leaching into that one? It's good to dry in between colours. I'm not doing that, I haven't got time, but you know what I mean. Or if you want, you can put a little bit of colour on, and then because we know it's a watercolour medium, we can take a fine paintbrush and drag that colour out.
Okay.
So you can do your watercolouring with it. And then if you wanted to, with any new colours that you've mixed, you can pick those up from the mat and do watercolouring with that too. So the possibilities with these are absolutely endless. What you can also do, don't waste this, get a piece of cardstock, spritz it so it's just a little bit moist, pick up the colours, make beautiful backgrounds. And you'll have beautiful glittery. The colour's probably not the best, it's going to look a bit muddy, but
Yeah,
you'll have beautiful,
get the idea.
You'll have beautiful glittery backgrounds with your background technique. There is so much you can do with these, Ben. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, there's a lot of love coming through for these as well. Certainly if you haven't yet picked them up, great deal on them today. If you're platinum, £2 or $3 per pen, which I think is amazing value for money. And Cindy just says, Leanne cracks me up. I love her sparkle comparison. And Ruth says, Leanne, disco ball vamps, I say. Question from, and this might be the fact, I don't know whether perhaps you didn't screw the pen tightly enough. Jean says, I stored mine flat, but some of them leaked. Did I do something wrong? Is that a case of perhaps not tightening them?
I think maybe you haven't tightened them enough. If you find that, you can store them vertical, but make sure you store them cap up.
Right.
And what happens when you store them vertical? So the reason I say store them horizontal, so this one hasn't been screwed on enough. The reason I say store them horizontal is if the glitter settles, it settles across the full length of the barrel, so it doesn't take as much to reactivate it. If you store them cap up, all of the microfine glitter is going to store right at the base of the pen. So you'll have to do more shaking to waking. As long as you don't mind the shake to wake, store them cap up.
Excellent. Well, a couple of questions. Oh, Amanda says, Leanne, what ink did you use for the black outline of the flowers? When I stamp and start colouring, the black smears into the colour.
Alcohol proof, finesse alcohol proof.
And Beverly says, can Leanne give any hints on any new collections coming up? Also, when will the Christmas collections be airing? Is that, well, A, are there any hints and tips? And B, is that information that you can divulge?
No.
Right. Huh. There we go. There we go. One thing we haven't covered, which we could look at in the last 10 minutes, is the Midas Metallic ink pads, which are down here. These are BIS, back in stock. Elizabeth says, thank you, Crafters TV team, for putting these great shows on. I'd love to know what you're saying in the presenter's ears. I can take my earpiece out and you can listen to them if you want. Do you want to just say hello? Do you want to say hello? Okay, get ready, get ready. Okay, Jamie and Nicola, here we go. Hello. Did you hear that at home? That's them. That's what I hear. I mean, they don't go hello, hello to me. They normally go, hurry up, move on, slow down, speed up. Shut up, Ben. You just heard in my ear there. Anyway, that's what they say. Ben, says Elizabeth Taylor, Just got in from Brixham. Ah, my hometown. Lunch at the Breakwater Bistro. I know it very well. And you had crab sandwiches. I mean, what more could you want? You're in Brixham, the most beautiful, beautiful town in the whole of the country. You're at the Breakwater Bistro and you're eating crab sarnies. I mean, life does not get any better than that. And I bet the weather's nice as well, isn't it? I bet the weather's nice. If you see me dad wandering around, say hello. I love the fact that you're down in my neck of the woods. It's amazing. And Altia says, I do have the sparkle pen, but I didn't know how to use it. So thank you, Leanne. Altia, you're welcome. And love the background. Great tip, says Stephanie Theodos. We've got about 8-9 minutes left. Metallic ink pads. We'll have a look at these with Leanne. Metallic pigment ink pads, again, great for your stamping, great for blending, great for embossing. You're going to get 7 colours within this set. The price, Leanne, what on earth, how have you managed to get this price on, is it really 7? 7 for 16 quid?
Because what I want, I can have. I get what I want, and I just put my foot down with a firm hand then.
I don't think I have ever seen 7 of these at that price ever before. We've only got, though, 35 chances to buy. When we see these in action, if you haven't yet tried them, you'll want to buy them. Colours: blue organza, red garnet, jade green, amethyst, beautiful rose gold, bronze, and platinum. I would just grab these now if I were you, because you're going to be wowed as to how beautiful they are, and chances are 35 of these will sell out very, very quickly. This is a £42, $63 bundle that you're picking up for £16 or $24.80. So pleased we've got these on the show. They won't be here for long. These will sell out. I feel like we haven't had these in stock in ages. So what are we doing with these, Leanne? How do these work? What can they do for us?
So everything you do with a Shimmer Ink pad, you can do with these.
Okay.
But you get that beautiful metallic effect. The difference is, on a black cardstock, the colour is as in the pad, and it's incredible. And the shine you get on it is like true metallic. Look at that on black card. It's absolutely superb.
Yeah.
So you can do all of your background techniques. You can go through your stencils. You can do your daubing. You can do your blending. It's brilliant for stamping a sentiment onto a black cardstock. Excuse me, if that's what you want to do. So I've just got one here from Sheena's Butterfly Wishes. Sometimes you can't see it when it's thingy. Let me just wiggle it out here. There you go. You can see it there. You can paint with them as well if you want to. I love to go over the top of scrapbook papers with these to give like little faux vignettes around the outside. But let me just take that bronze, for example, and put some colour down here on the mat. And then what I can do with a damp brush is just pick that up, and then I can go over the top of some alcohol colouring.
Okay.
And give a little shimmer of metallic in there. And so it gives that beautiful kind of accent. So you can accent over the top with things if you want to. For me, the best way to use them, can I just show you the bronze on white as well? Let me just do that. I'll just do it here. So the colour on white, I think, falls a little bit flatter than when it's on the black. So for me, I love to do the effects with our metallic ink pads on black. Look at the difference.
Yeah.
So through your stencils, with your inks, do your stamp and then draw out the colour with water, paint it onto scrapbook papers, paint it onto an image, stamp your sentiments, heat emboss it. Everything you can do with a Shimmer Ink pad, you can do with these, but you do it in that lovely, intense metallic colour.
And it is a stunner of a deal today. If you are somebody who's already got these, you're definitely buying these again, aren't you? Stocking up on them. If not, then make sure you grab them, because they are a phenomenal deal. Tarina Holloway says, just tuning in and catching up. Leanne, your tips on the Shimmer Ink pads, brilliant. Thank you. Love the background. Great tip, Leanne, says Stephanie. And Beverly Bryant says, it's the law court of Leanne. It's just like a cartload. It has been a fabulous show. Again, just to recap on the colours that you're going to get in your metallic pigment, all 7 of these for a crazy, crazy price. You've got in there platinum, you have got your bronze, gold rose, amethyst, jade green, red garnet, and then lastly, blue organza. £16, $24 HE. We are almost done. It's been such a fabulous show. Thank you so much, everybody. I feel like we've covered off a lot here, and I feel like we've answered all of the questions, certainly that have come through to me. So thank you, everybody, for all of those. Just to reiterate again, don't forget, on the website, we have our summer sale. That continues, and the outlet clearance sale continues as well. That's the one I would go to first if I was you, because there are so many deals there. And as we showed you earlier on Wake Up Call this morning, deals from as little as 40p, I think it was, and 48 cents, I think was the lowest price. So if you are coming into the shows today and you've got, I don't know, $5, $10 to spend, then it is absolutely worth checking out that section of the website. On the deals that we showed you today, just on Wake Up Call, up to 83% off. And we've certainly had deals with up to 90% off over the course of the last few days. Also to mention as well, if you do shop fairly swiftly, you can still pick up the Ben and Craig signed photo. And I have seen a few comments of people saying, oh, I've already got a couple of signed photos of Ben and Craig. Well, listen, don't delay. If you don't want a third one, just put it on your log burner.
Or throw darts at it.
I mean, you could throw darts at it, actually, if you wanted to do that. Or sell it, because if you've got one, I mean, if you got it on eBay, especially if it's a signed one, I mean, the amount of money that could go for, I'm talking about, I was going to say 50 pence, but Jamie, yeah, probably more like 10. So yeah, but just shop, don't wait, okay? And particularly, do make sure that you come back later on as well, because we've got a 60-minute deal show, which I'll tell you about in just a second. Yeah, I want to say thank you so much, and I said it to you off air a few moments ago, but I have to say I think that's been one of the most educational and interactive shows I've done this year.
Oh, thank you, Ben. I like to be as helpful as I can when I've got my time here. So I've loved this 2 hours. It's gone so quickly. Thank you.
When are you back? Do we know?
I'm not actually sure, Ben, because I've got a work trip, haven't I?
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm not actually back in the country till the 1st of July. So I'm waiting for the July schedule to come out. But I'm sure I'll be on your screens beginning of July sometime.
Well, happy globe-trotting.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you back. Great show from start to end, says Diane. Great show today, says Jane Adams. I love embossing with those, says Evelyn. Thank you, Lizar, says, for a great show. Wendy Graham says, thank you for a great show. Leanne, Ben, Susie and team. And Altia De Vries says, wonderful show, so clearly showed. Thank you very much, Ben and Leanne. And Lynn Morton says, fantastic show, so educational. Make sure you send all these comments through to the bosses, yeah? Tell them how educational it was, tell them how fun it was, and tell them how interactive it was as well. Just email management@crafterscompanion.co.uk. That's D-U-H, management, as if you can. Don't do that, because it will just bounce back. I'm only kidding. But you say, anyway, a fantastic show, so educational. Thank you to Leanne and Ben and Susie and all the team. And Jean Marie Penny says, what a fabulous show. Thank you so much for all the tips and demos. Thanks, everybody. Mary Beth Doyle, amazing show. I'll want to watch it again. Well, you can watch it again. It's always there on Facebook and indeed on YouTube. So if you need to go back and recap on any of Leanne's sage advice, you can. Tonight's show, going to be very different. That was very educational, very interactive. Tonight, it is going to be fast. It's going to be furious. In an hour's time, it is me. It's the Haughty Scorty with 60-minute deals that will only be on that show for 60 minutes. So you'll need to be in to grab them. I've seen the list. There are some sensational buys. So make sure you're in with us, because if you don't join us, you'll only be disappointed. See you now, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Until then, bye for now.